Collins. As you all may know me, I am a singer and songwriter, and I'm very well known as well. I have done music for very long, and with my music, I have I have done music for Disney and a lot of other companies as well, which made me a lot of famous, and I am very influential through multiple generations. Now I'm currently in a hot air balloon, and with me is Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Avicenna, and also Galileo Galilei. Now, there's a bit of a problem here that the hot air balloon that we're in is currently descending, and from what I could gather, we have to throw one person out of this hot air balloon in order for us to stay afloat and be safe. Now, all of us are going to have to talk about ourselves and tell everyone why we need to stay on the hot air balloon and not be thrown off. So, if I'm going to start, again, my name is Phil Collins. I make music, and I'm very influential through multiple generations. Um, I work with if you have ever watched a Disney movie, specifically Tarzan, you know that I've made a lot of music for it, and I'm very passionate about making music. That's why if you search Tarzan in multiple languages, it's still my voice singing all of those songs. It's just in a different language. Now, I am very influential in society, and I can tell, and because of my influence, I can use it to better society. For example, I've done a song called Another Day in Paradise, which was to tell people about the homeless people in like the United States. And I've also done concerts about it where all of the money that I've gotten from the concerts, all of the donations and everything, goes to these homeless people, like goes to the charities that help these homeless people. Aside from that, I also the amount of money I've gotten from all those donations, I put double that amount into the charity itself out of my own pocket money. So if you're talking about influence, I have the influence to still change people or to still make society do good. And if you're trying to see how much I've done for society, I've helped with the homeless situation. Now, in terms of any other problems, I can also do that through my music, and my music can live on for generations to come. Now, I'd like to pass over to Elon Musk to introduce himself and see what he has to say about himself. So, Elon, to you.
All right, thank you, Phils. As you guys know, um, I'm Elon Musk, the one of the most richest people on the planet right now. So I'm the founder of Tesla and SpaceX, and many more inventions, such as besides that, I also do create PayPal, the one that widely used payment system around the world. I did a Hyperloop. Um, this is quite an ambitious idea of mine, where this Hyperloop is a transportation system which I introduced back in 2013. It's still in formulative stages, but then if this technology this project success, it will give a great, it will help humanity to travel. Next, I'll also invent Zip2, which is online city guides. Solar City uh, is a solar power system. Electric jets and web-based phone calls. As you guys can see, I have a lot of inventions that helps the humankind. And then they also often say that I'm the 21st century Thomas Edison. Besides that, I contributed a lot in green energy production and space exploration through my invention, the Solar City invention and SpaceX. Um, And then one of my greatest contribution would be the electric car technology. It's an important technology that will be used in the future because with electric car we can substantially reduce the amount of CO2 in our air. And then, as you guys can see, there's no reason that for me to be thrown out of this hot air balloon, as you guys know that I'm still quite young, and I have a big brand, and I think the humankind will benefit me more in the years to come.
All
So, how about
right.
you?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Donald Trump. I'm an American politician, formerly an actor, and I've served as the 45th President of the United States of America. I also happen to be a very successful businessman who happens to be a billionaire. I am in charge of many lives, many lives, and I have made tremendous contributions to the American economy. Personally, I believe that I should stay on this balloon since I am the most important person on board. I have brought great change to our country. I've changed many lives. I've improved taxes, income, and the quality of life in our country prior to the COVID pandemic, which unfairly was brought upon me by the Chinese government and the Democratic Party. So I think we know that I belong on this balloon. Now, next person.
All right, greetings. Some people recognize me as Ibn Sina, whereas the rest of the world simply know me as Avicenna. I'm a famous scholar and a devoted Muslim. Most of you know me for my major contributions towards medicine. My most known discoveries include the introduction of several surgical procedures. I also helped society have a better understanding of the human cardiovascular system. In addition to my medical contributions, I also helped contribute to philosophy. Namely, my discoveries helped reconcile science and religion, allowing my fellow Muslims to better understand the world around them as well as their faith. My contributions to medicine helped save many lives, especially in a time where many ailments were considered lethal. Furthermore, my discoveries also became the basis for many innovations in medicine, which would save many more lives. For the reasons above, I believe I am of use to society and should stay on this balloon.
Galileo Galilei, an Italian astronomer, physician, and engineer. The people calls me the father of observational astronomy, the father of modern physics, the father of scientific method, and the father of modern science. I should not be the one who thrown from the balloon. I study speed and velocity, gravity and free fall, the principle of relativity, inertia, projectile motion, and all of them work in applied science and technology. I can describe the properties of pendulum and hydrostatic balance. I invented thermoscope and various military compass, and also used the telescope for scientific observations of celestial objects. My contribution to the object observational astronomy include the telescopic confirmation of face of Venus, observation of four largest satellites of Jupiter, observation of the Saturn ring, and analyze the sunspot. Also, I have introduced the heliocentrism, where the sun is the center of the universe. I'm sure that the people appreciate what I have contributed to the field of the science, and I would not be thrown down here.
All right. Enough with the chit chat. let me get this straight to you guys. By my calculation, we are going down. Our altitude is going down very fast. We need to decide. One of us need to be thrown out from this hot air balloon. So I suggest that Donald Trump to be thrown out from this hot air balloon. You guys want to know why? During the current COVID-19 pandemic, during his period as the U.S. president, he badly managed the COVID-19 pandemics, which causes the U.S. citizens to lose hundreds of thousands of lives because his act. What you going to say about this, Trump?
Now, Elon, for the COVID thing, I said what I said to prevent a mass panic among the American people. I had my top scientists working overtime to develop a vaccine that could be deployed as soon as possible towards the American people and throughout the world. Personally, I think what I did was all right, and it was sad to see so many lives lost. But I think it could have been much worse had I not taken any action. In fact, my decision to close the borders early met heavy opposition from the Democratic Party, who sought to undermine all of my actions. Furthermore, I think that I did a rather good job in slowing down the growth of the spread of COVID-19 throughout the country.
I see. All right. Avicenna, I suggest next to be thrown out is Avicenna because he owns a slave. He enslaved people, which is despite all his contributions towards medicines, it's all good, but enslave people, that's inhuman. I mean, you should pay for what you have done. So that makes you the right people to be thrown out of this hot air balloon. What you gonna say about that, Avicenna?
All right. As you have mentioned, yes, I have. However, okay, as you have mentioned, yes, I have done so. However, I am a devoted follower of a religion that frowns upon the poor treatment of others, regardless of background or status. Therefore, I have treated them well. In addition to that, I have also made an effort to free them.
Okay.
Whatever the case is, the sin which I have committed, my major contributions to the world will far outweigh for my contributions can save more lives in the long run.
Now, Elon, you're no stranger to controversy yourself here. Speaking of slaves, you just so happen to be born in South Africa to two parents who owned a mine that employed unethical labor tactics, essentially known as modern-day slavery. What say you about that, Elon?
Oh, about the mine in Africa. It's not fair, You don't have like the right case to shoot that against me. And then plus the mine was owned by my parents. It has nothing to do with me.
In addition to that, you also, during the height of the COVID pandemic, you decided you wanted to reopen the Tesla factories as soon as possible and get all of your employees working in the middle of the pandemic. How do you defend that?
Yes, during the middle of pandemic, United States actually was having a economic recession. So everyone needs money, and there's a desperation to work from the workers. So I allow them to work.
All right. And as for you, Phil, you're a very famous singer, aren't you? But that's aside from that and a little bit of charity work, that seems to be all you've contributed to society. I don't see you holding any weight compared to the rest of us. Do you have anything to say in your defense, Phil?
Well, I'm an entertainer. I'm an entertainer first, but if you want to make me do charity work or do anything that's influential throughout the world itself, I can. If you want me to talk about climate change, I can make a song about it, and I can make a damn good song about it, given the time and resources that I have. And with the entertainment that I've made in over the past few decades, I've amassed a lot of followers that I could, spread the message around. So if you think that I'm not gonna do anything, like I can't do anything even though I'm old, I guess again I can still make music. I can still sing. If I were to talk about my contemporaries, you look at, I don't know. Let's look at someone who's a bit younger than I am, but is still getting older. Let's look at the musician Eminem, who's also getting older and by now can't do all of the speed raps that he thinks he can do, but he's still singing, which means that he has the influence.
You're old and washed out, Phil, but it's your turn to refute someone.
Now, again, I like to talk about Galileo Galilei here. Now, Galileo, I know that astronomy is very important in the survival of mankind because we use it as well. We look at the stars to navigate through the sea, but you know, if someone doesn't travel, if someone gets sick, you can't just look at the stars to magically get them not sick. You could have invented something that could have helped us with that. Maybe a microscope, maybe, but you were too caught up with astronomy that you didn't realize that you could have reverse engineered the telescope in order to become a microscope. What say you?
For the telescope, it doesn't only contribute to the astronomy. Furthermore, by studying the astronomy, we know about the time, and also astronomy is the future of humanity. Not now. Many will think that astronomy is contribute nothing to science, but actually it does, and it also contribute in the work of arts. For
I
some
see.
of the pottery and music, it is related to the astronomy. Do you agree with that, Phils?
Hmm. I find that a bit hard to believe, but I have to agree with you there. Well, the person I think should be thrown out, other than Galileo, would be Elon Musk, simply because with the production of the Tesla cars itself, all of the items used to make it, all of the factories, all of those actually contribute to the development or the increasing amount of emission of CO2, carbon dioxide, which Tesla is trying so hard to fight against with its Tesla cars. But ultimately, that's what's happening. You can see that these factories are emitting CO2, and it's not a very good image for you for Tesla now, is it?
Yes, I understand that the production of Tesla will produce some amount of CO2, carbon dioxide, but then if you compare the Tesla factory with the other car manufacturer, they are still substantially very low. Uh, the the technology of zero carbon production is still far from fully developed. So this is the reason why I need to stay here. You cannot throw me out of this air balloon because there's a still I still have a lot more ideas in order for me to reduce this carbon footprint.
All right, all right. I see. I see what you mean there.
Oh, I think it's my turn to review someone.
Yeah.
For me, I think Donald Trump should be thrown out of the ballot. From what he says, it's make America great again. He he have done everything and a lot of efforts for the economy, for the taxes, but in my view, you do nothing more than your fancy words. All you care is money.
And I've done a
On-
very tremendous job in helping the American economy.
Okay, what you d- what you do, you own a lot of properties, and you doesn't shut down any of your any of your properties during the COVID.
Oh, I shut them down, alright? I own a lot of properties and they're all successful. But when holding it accountable, I actually do shut down my properties. I have no idea what you are suggesting when you say that I'm not closing any of them down. You must be a victim of fake news media.
Well, I doesn't really believe in you, but I do not have evidence for that. For the other ones,
Exactly.
for the on the other hand, what the second person I want to refute is Avicina. For what Avicina done, he have said that the God, I mean, um, Avicina, you have said that the Avicina, you have do an experiment called Flying Man. For in that experiment, you said that people are created by God in midair and outstretched with what he's touching, nothing, even his own body, without a memory, only being created. For this part, I think it's too much of philosophy more than and it's not a part of the science.
That is an interpretation of what my religion says, and it has helped, and it has helped my fellow Muslims better understand the spiritual side of the world. However, I did not force this philosophy upon upon people who follow other religions. It isn't whether they choose to believe this philosophy or not. That is entirely their choice. But primarily, my philosophical contributions are to help fellow Muslims better understand their religion and the world around them.
Maybe you are right. I'm too stubborn in my view.
The rest of you aboard this balloon have brought up some intriguing points. However, I must point out that some of your points are quite insufficient. Namely, Galileo, you are a great mind with many contributions to astronomy. However, as a scholar who has made extensive studies on medicine, I do not see how your field of medicine is able to save many lives.
I didn't save life from. I mean, I'm not the same field of in the. I am not in the same field of science with you. My field of science is on the astronomy. My astron my my part have to help the peoples to travel, and they can do a lot of things with the knowledge of astronomy, especially on travels. It might be not save the people from disease, but it helps a lot of people to improve their life. Do you agree with that?
An interesting argument. Now I would like to. Moreover, I would like to talk about someone else. I would like to point out the shortcomings of Phil Collins' arguments. Collins, you said you are a great musician and entertainer who has made an influence on society. However, while your contributions are valuable, the effects of those contributions are long term at best, whereas the rest of us have made more immediate changes to society. As for those who enjoy your songs have been long recorded. Therefore, your songs can be heard anytime and anywhere, regardless of your presence.
Interesting argument. So when it comes to my music, yes, it has been recorded, and yes, people can hear it anytime they want. With nowadays with current technology, but the thing is, sometimes music is not enough to. Sometimes people cannot understand the meaning of the music itself. Look at the song "In the Air Tonight," by which people always say that it's a song about my divorce or whatever. It's not. It has a different meaning altogether. If you see my interviews and people asking me about it, I've already explained like what the song was all about. Now, sure, my music is influential, but sometimes people misinterpret my music. So they need me around to reinterpret them and to influence them in order to do good in the world itself. I have lots of followers by the millions and probably by the billions. And it's safe to say that with my influence, with the influence that I have, I can still influence them to do good, to tell them that there's issues that in the world that they can help fix, that we need to stand together to fix. That's what I can contribute to society. I can do it both on short term and on long term effects. So yeah, that's my contribution.
It's just interesting points as well, Mr. Collins. Now that we have all presented our arguments, shall we come to a final decision?
All right, I think that should be enough for us to make a decision.
Yes, true. I agree that I think we have one person in mind, right?
Yep.
Someone has to be thrown.
Personally, I think that it should be Phil who should be thrown out of this balloon.
I
You all
agree. I agree. I
Oh,
agree
okay.
with you from even though I don't 100% agree with what did you did to the humanity, but then I agreed with you in terms of throwing Phil out of this ability.
I mean, I'm old already, so
That's
well.
not really a brilliant idea, but yeah, I will also accept it to throw film.
What about you, Avicenna?
Or do you want to be thrown?
Unfortunately, the majority have. Unfortunately for you, Phil Collins, the majority has made their decisions, and they have thought this through thoroughly.
Well,
Well,
I've,
It
I've
seems
not
that
got
it's
long for this
unanimous
one
then.
anyway.
Well, so long, Phil. Bye bye.
Phil?